Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim. If you're new here and you enjoy today's content, please consider clicking on the like button and subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back week to week. Alright, so let's start off this very chaotic video and starting with what I have completed and then what's rolling over. I am filming this the last full week of February. By the time this video goes up, that week should be over, and hopefully what I've not finished will be finished. If not, the few hopefully will be rolling over in the last few days of February, and I'll have them done. I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible so we can get into the rolls, and this video is not super long. We'll see. Never know. Never know. So we're going to set these aside. So I will try to do a wrap-up video and go into more detail about what I've completed. So again, I'm not going to try to speak too much or too long in detail of these books. First of all, Heartstone. Love this book. This is by L. Catherine White. If you're looking into a Pride and Prejudice story retelling or inspired book, this may be up your alley. If you're into fantasy, actually really enjoyed it. 4-star rating. If you're into more creepy things, very creepy and disturbing, this would definitely be up your alley. This is The Unwelcome by Jacob Stephen Moore. Yes, very creepy, very disturbing. I think I either gave it a 4 or 5 star. First book by this author. Definitely would look and consider more books by him. Oh, very disturbing. This was a buddy read on my Discord group. This was, I believe, the last of the trilogy of the Era of Folk, I believe. This is by Holly Black, The Queen of Nothing. And then we read the last novella as well to finish out this whole series. I like this book the best out of the whole series. But yeah, I'll go into more detail in the wrap-up. But yes, finished that one. Can't remember if I gave it a 3 or 4 star rating. I don't remember, but we'll go more into depth with that later. So this is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. I know I gave this one a 5 star. I love this from the moment I picked it up to the middle of it, to the end of it. If you have started watching the television series The Last of Us, you will enjoy this book. Again, I think when I was talking on my Discord group about it, I don't know if the book came before the video game or whatnot, but they seem to be inspired by each other, or I'm not sure which came first, or anyways, there is to me a lot of connections between the two. Maybe the game inspired the author, vice versa, I don't know. But either way, I love the book. I love the inspiration behind. It was scary. It was creepy. A lot of ethical decisions have to be made. Makes you think about what would you do? What do you consider ethical in this type of post-apocalyptic world-ending scenarios? What should be done to try to save the world? Loved it. Loved it. Highly recommend it. I do want to read the book, the second one. I think it's called The Boy on the Bridge. I think is what it's called. I do want to pick that one up. I didn't realize there was a second book, but definitely want to check it out because I really love this book. Next book, which was not on my TBR, but was on my unofficial TBR because I was reading the Sarah J. Maas read-along independently of all of these books, which is why I think I'm behind on all of my books. What's this chunker? So this was the last book on that readathon, which is The House of Sky and Breath. So this took up the very first half of February. So we finished it, we did the live show, and then now I've knocked out a lot of my other books. So it's been a very successful month. But this was read by audio and on 1.5 speed. Anything higher and I don't comprehend much, so I'm working my speed up. But that's pretty consistent now. Love this. Is my first time reading this. Loved it. 5-star read for me. I love the Crescent City books, this series, and I think the 3rd one's supposed to come out. I can't wait to get my hands on it whenever it does come out. It's going to be so good if it continues. I can't wait to see where this series goes. Still, Throne of Glass is my favorite series out. This will be my first, Throne of Glass second, and then 3rd would be the ACOTAR series. That's maybe unpopular opinions, but that's just where I rank. Okay, so what I have left to read off of my actual official TBR. This will roll over. This was from my Romanceopoly picks, and I believe I have the card still with me. This was the Bow Boulevard. If it will focus, I have no idea. Kind of autofocus is here, there, and everywhere. So this was Bow Boulevard. This is the one that I take to and from and listen to and from going to work. I'm on break. So this is kind of why this one hasn't been really read, because I do that going to and from work. The second one, also from my Romanceopoly, this was Sleuth Street. This is kind of a mystery thriller. Only 1 chapter in. I started it actually this week. So I will hopefully knock it out the rest of this week that I'm off. But when you see this, hopefully it will be close to done, if not done. I think there are only 23 chapters or something like that. Not too many. So I should be able to knock it out. This one, so Fortuna Sworn. This is actually from the Deck of TBR. This came from the Jack of Hearts for physical TBR. I am 4 chapters in. Started it this week. Actually, I think Monday night. Already 4 chapters in. Loving it so far. I should be able, like I said, knock it out fairly quickly. I'm reading quite a few of them back to back. Like, I'll read a few chapters here, put it down, start another one. If I get into a book that I'm really interested in, I'll probably just knock it out and then pick up another one until it hits me, and so forth. So we'll be continuing that one. Uprooted, this was also from February's Deck of TBR. This was for King of Hearts. So this was the color generator for this kind of grayish black color. So I am currently 3 chapters in, so I left off at chapter 4, kind of similar to Fortuna Sworn, which was by K.J. Sutton, the previous book. This is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. So again, a retelling, Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling. So this is for that one. Again, hopefully get it done. And then the last book, this is for my own reading of the J.R. Ward Black Dagger Brotherhood. I am 14 chapters in, starting on chapter 15 later today. I think there are 50 something chapters, but they're fairly easy to read. Enjoying the story so far. She has a deathly illness, possibly that is returning, and he is attracted to her, but he doesn't know why. That's triggering his own actual curse. So we're trying to figure that out. And it's been, like I said, a very long time since I've read it, and I don't remember how everything resolves itself. So it's like a first time reading all over again for this one. So that is where I'm standing. I've read a lot. Still got quite a few to read because this massive chunker took a long time. But yeah, so that is where we're at. And now talk about books that I really need to get on to March's Deck of TBRs. So one book that I would really like to be able to get onto this TBR is called Malice by Heather Walter. So this is my favorite fairy tale retelling of Sleeping Beauty. LGBTQ plus rep book. So if you want to get this one on there, if at all possible. If not, I'm going to have quite a few possible rollovers and extra books. Another book I would like to see on there is Meant to Be by Jennifer Probst. It's a romance. I think it's a best friend to lovers, friends to lovers romance. This is The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. This deals with, I think, kind of Norse god mythology, religion style book with a fantasy twist. So I'd like to see if I can get that on there. And this one is Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. This was dealing with mythical creatures, and it's another fantasy. This is The Kingdom of the Wicked. This is part of my Discord groups. Buddy read this book and these 3 books. So these 3 books here. A book fiend named Mel's Roll of Reads readathon that she's hosting for her birthday month in March. This book also goes for my own. It's kind of double to triple placement of this book is also starting my own buddy read of this trilogy. So it's kind of serving a triple purpose if I can get it also onto my Deck of TBR. So that's where these 3 go in. These 2 are for my Romanceopoly picks. If I can get these also onto the Deck of TBR. So all of these books, if at all possible, to fit onto the Deck of TBR. So I'm going to set these books aside, clear off my desk so we can get into the rolls, in the pulls, in the draws, and all of this stuff. I do remember Ace is to reshuffle my deck. So all the cards that I previous pulled, if I get an Ace of any suit, then all my cards get shuffled back into the deck. A Joker means I get an extra pull. So get them shuffled. Last time we had 1 suit that was drawn almost every time. Even though I shuffled on camera multiple times, it didn't matter. Alright, and for my new folks who are seeing this video for the first time, all of my wheels are on my phone because Chaos and my cats, they love to shred things. Paper, cardboard, anything of that nature. Especially Romeo, not so much. He leaves pretty much anything alone. Nyx, on the other hand, she loves to destroy stuff. Plastic is her favorite. Cardboard, second runner. Paper, third. And what do you make boards out of? Plastic, paper, and cardboard. So wheels it is. And that, and I just don't got a lot of room. I really don't. So last shuffle. And then I'll show you again. This is my little cheat sheet that I keep. I made a little journal entry of it. So I will be referencing that, and then I have a notepad that I write things down on to figure things out. Alright, you guys will know my card before I do. Okay. So 8 of diamonds. I love these cards. They're so pretty. Physical aspect. This could be fun. These are always fun. We got a lot of physical aspects last time. Okay, we should be recording. Alright, Kindle Unlimited. Alright, a Kindle Unlimited pick, which is none of the books that I currently have because these are all physical books. Alright, draw number 2. Okay, 3 of clubs. Alright, so these are challenges. These could be fun. Challenges. Oh my dear. Alright, we are recording on my phone. A translated book. I don't think I have any of those either. A translated book, so I'll have to figure that out. It's not being kind to me at all. And I'm only 2 rolls in. Alright, pull 3. Ten of clubs. Another challenge. You can actually hear it now. Okay, never read. I can actually do that. I'm going to max out at 5 pulls. All right, here we go. Pull 4. 3 of spades. And these are just prompts. So these in theory are supposed to be easier prompts. Plus size rep. I'll have to definitely look for that. And then my last and final pull. Queen of Hearts. Yay! Queens are mood reads. Woo! Mood reads. I have no idea what I'm going to do for that. Kind of feel scared because here at the beginning of the year I've gotten a lot of mood reads and that terrifies me for the rest of the year. But yes, I will take another mood read. I will take it because I have no idea what I'm going to read. Have no idea. Don't know. Alright, so let me go figure out what books I'm going to choose for these cards and I'll get back to you on them. So for draw 1 for 8 of diamonds, I chose, and I'll have to put pictures up for majority of the books because they're not physical copy books. So I chose Crave, and I will read you what Goodreads has to say about it. My whole world changed when I stepped inside the academy. Nothing is right about this place or the other students in it. Here I am, a mere mortal among gods or monsters. I still can't decide which of these warring factions I belong to, if I belong at all. I only know the one thing that unites them is their hatred of me. Then there's Jackson Vega, a vampire with deadly secrets who hasn't felt anything for 100 years. But there's something about him that calls to me. Something broken in him that somehow fits with what's broken in me, which could spell death for us all, because Jackson's walled himself off for a reason. And now someone wants to wake a sleeping monster, and I'm wondering if I was brought here intentionally as bait. So I will be reading that. That was for the physical aspect, and the physical aspect was KU, and I have that on my KU list of books to read. That was for the 8 of diamonds. I drew for our second draw was the 3 of clubs, and that said it was a challenge prompt. And for that, it was translated work. I don't own translated works, so I attempted to find translated works on Amazon and on KU. There was really not that I could find any on the KU service, so I went on the Scribd service. And what it pulled up was called, one I just looked up translated, or books translated. And one of them came up. It was called Creatures of Passage, but on Goodreads it doesn't have it as a translated work, but I'm just going to follow what Scribd does. So it says, and again I'll pop a picture up, it says this book was a translated fiction. It says Creatures of Passage. It's an author and narrated by, again apologize if I missay the name, it's by Moroa Yejide, and it's an African American fiction was another of the tags. It said translated and African American fiction. It was how it was tagged on Scribd. So that's the way I'm going to take it to fulfill this prompt, even though Goodreads doesn't have that as a tag. I don't know, different sites tag things differently. But this is what it is described as on Goodreads. Says, with echoes of Toni Morrison's beloved Yejide's novel explores a forgotten quadrant of Washington, D.C. and ghosts that haunt it. Nethes Kindwell is a taxi driver of sorts in Washington, D.C., ferrying ill-fated passengers in a haunted car. A 1967 Plymouth Belvedere with a ghost in the trunk. Endless rides and alcohol help her manage her grief over the death of her twin brother Osiris, who was murdered and dumped in the Anacostia River. unknown to Nephthys. When the novel opens in 1977, her estranged great-nephew, 10-year-old Dash, is finding himself drawn to the banks of that very same river. It is there that Dash, reeling from having witnessed an act of molestation at his school, but still questioning what and who he saw, has charmed conversations with a mysterious figure he calls the Riverman, who somehow appears each time he goes there. When Dash arrives unexpectedly at Nephthys' door one day bearing a cryptic note about his unusual conversations with the Riverman, Nephthys must face both the family she abandoned and what frightens her most when she looks in the mirror. Creatures of Passage beautifully threads together the story of Nephthys, Dash, and others, both living and dead. Maroa Yejedi's deeply captivating novel shows us an unseen Washington filled with otherworldly landscapes, flawed superhumans, and reluctant ghosts, and bring together a community intent on saving one young boy in order to reclaim themselves. Sounds very intriguing and very moving, heartbreaking, and all the things. So it's going to touch you in the feels. I have a feeling that's going to it's going to be crushing, I think. In a good way, I think. But it's going to be very powerful. Very, very powerful, I believe. So draw number 3. This is the 10 of Clubs. So this was another challenge prompt, and it's the author I've never read from. So that would be Kingdom of the Wicked. I will be reading this as a buddy read. I will also be reading this for a book fiend named Mel in her Roll of Reads birthday month. I got that on her when I played her Roll of Reads game that she is hosting that month. I'm participating in that, and this is one of the books that was pulled when I got the card Buddy Read and Book Club, that prompt. So we'll be reading that for that prompt. So again, for the prompt, it was a plus size rep for the prompt 3 of Spades, and for that, again, I'll have the picture of the book up on the screen. So plus size rep, this will be another romance. So only a bad nanny knows what it's like to kiss the boss. CEO millionaire Max Fletcher is a single dad in a desperate need of a nanny. Cozy Barlow is in the middle of her self-appointed gap year and doing everything she can to detach from her past. But when her sister begs her to interview for the nanny position of a high-maintenance client, she doesn't have a good enough reason to say no. And when Max locks eyes on the 20-something in a tie-dyed sweatsuit who pitches the idea of daydreaming all summer, he prepares to give this bad nanny the boot. One problem: Max's little girl thinks this plus-size in body and spirit nanny might be her new bestie. So she hires her on the spot. Now Max is stuck with this bizarre woman who hates everything he represents: corporate greed, money, status, power. But one stormy night, when the power goes out, he discovers Cozy doesn't hate him. In fact, he's the leading role in her fantasies. Fantasies he would very much like to make reality. Again, a plus size rep in this romance. And you saw how excited I was. I got a Queen of Hearts. This is a mood read, and I'm also terrified because I've gotten a lot of mood reads here at the very beginning of this year, and it terrifies me for the last part of the year, but I will take it because I don't know what else I'm going to pull, because I don't know what I want to read here at the tail end of February, at the beginning of March. So I'm going to leave it open. Like I said, I don't know what. I may choose one of these other books. I have 4 books that I need to get on this TBR because I have a lot of ebooks and I don't have a lot of my physical books that I need to read. So I have no clue, and I don't want to purchase any more books. So I'm going to leave this open, and then when I come back at the end of March, I'll let you know what I subbed in for the Queen of Hearts, because I don't have a clue what I'm in the mood to read. A lot of 4 KU books, no, 3 KU books, 1 physical book that I know I did put on there, and then on top of those, then again, like I said, I need to read Meant to Be by Jennifer Probst. I need to read Malice by Heather Walter. Also need to read Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. And then I also need to read The Girl the Sea Gave Back. So all in all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible books that I need to get read. So these are the books, plus the others that are on my Kindle. Kindle and Script. That's what I got going on. So basically 9 books, and then anything else that I pick up for the mood read. Yeah. Alright, so this was a wacky, crazy, chaotic deck of TBR, like per normal. Hasn't been quite this bad in the last month or two, so it was bound to happen. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And until my next video, you guys, happy reading as per normal. Bye, guys.